Hey y'all, how's it going? Welcome to the July garden tour. We are starting here at the community plot. Truthfully, I haven't been here that much. I haven't been here enough, if I'm being honest. I keep getting incredibly lucky with like random rain downpours so that my garden doesn't die. So, you know, thanks nature for looking out. Appreciate you. So yeah, we're gonna look at this for the first time together in probably, I don't know, maybe like a half a week. Yeah, guys, I just like really have been so busy, but it's okay. You know, at this point of the year, I'm just embracing the garden. I'm embracing it for what it is. It gets very jungly. I mean, you can even just like, if you just kind of look amongst everybody's plots, like it's just a jungle everywhere, everywhere. We've had a very strangely mild beginning of summer. Like we really haven't even hit hundreds yet, which is very odd. So, heyo, climate change. But let's take a garden tour. Really beautiful sunflowers coming up. This was the mammoth sunflower that I didn't mean to plant, but I did. So it's definitely not as tall as it could have been, but it's very large. And these big, nasty, mean brown bugs love sunflowers, which is why I didn't want to plant them. You can't see them, but they're there. Also, this is like very real life. Like I have so many weeds, and like you really want to pull your grass weeds before they get to this stage, because these are the seeds, and that's what spreads the weeds in your garden. But you know, like I said, we're embracing things. So we've got some sunflowers happening, and then these illumination zinnias are still freaking amazing. They're just so beautiful. I've got some like sage and other small flowers hiding under there. So we've got plenty of these. That looks like it's gonna be ready for seed, which is great. I definitely want to save some seeds for this stuff this year. And then I have to come in here with my weed whacker. And then we keep coming down here. We've got, you know, more flowers that are doing well. And then we've just got more beautiful little sunflowers. I might pick a couple of these for a bouquet this week. And then here are my peppers. So my peppers are starting to really like kind of go downhill. They're getting yellowy. I could probably extend them for a little while longer, but I'm kind of just at the point of like, I'm over the peppers. So I probably could help these guys along, but truthfully, I just don't really want to. The tomatillos are dead. The tomatillos are super done, which is fine. You know, they all kind of have a lifespan, and you can actually see in here, I don't know that the camera will pick it up. Those are all nymphs of those mean leaf-footed bugs. So the leaf-footed bug is just one of those pests that I've accepted are going to be a part of summer gardening in Texas. Truthfully, I hate them. They can get really territorial and aggressive, and like they will fly at your face, and it's terrifying, and I hate it. But comes along with the territory, so you just kind of accept it and move on, and whatever. I actually have not sprayed insecticide in my garden once this season. I've been trying to really embrace some like permaculture ideals of like letting nature work itself out, and it's actually worked great in my backyard. I actually have tons of little predators in my backyard. I've got some baby birds that had a nest there and all this stuff. The leaf-footed bugs are a problem everywhere, no matter what I do. So we just embrace it and we move on. Tomatillos are dead, that's fine. They gave a lot. They gave a lot of themselves. I definitely need to come through. These red peppers in here are extremely ripe, probably very spicy poblanos. And I need to kind of come through and just do a final harvest of all these peppers before I rip them out. I might leave a couple, like my serranos are still looking really good. And might leave a couple and see what happens. But for the most part, I think a lot of the larger peppers need to come out. Like these bell peppers have been done for a long time, although they have some small guys, some Hail Marys, probably because it hasn't gotten quite as hot yet. And then if we keep moving on, my habanada plant, one of them is like doing really, really well. I still don't know that I have the courage fully to actually try one like raw yet. So TBD there. And then we have my melon and squash section. So a few things about this. From what I understand, squash vine borers are kind of a problem like everywhere. So like all the time. Like I don't know that there's really a way to avoid the squash vine borer situation unless you're gonna use like a mesh row cover, and even then like they will find a way. The thing I am gonna try next year is I heard from an Instagram gardener called Tiny Green Growers. She's a pretty big account. She said she plants cat mint, not catnip, cat mint next to her squash, and the smell like masks somehow the smell of the squash blossoms, which is how the squash vine borers find squash plants. I don't know. I'm gonna try it next year. I think it's definitely worth a shot because I love squash and I love pumpkins, but like the disappointment of planting them all the time and then getting nothing is sad. So let me show you what these plants look like. I've got melons and pumpkins in here. So yeah, this is what your stem will look like when it gets nailed by squash vine borers. It is ugly and mangled. However, I think this plant may be large enough to like sustain the damage. Maybe TBD. I mean, it's still big and it's definitely still growing. It's like growing all the way over here, and it's got little squash babies on it. So I think it might survive or it might die, and I might be sad, who knows. But that is for sure squash vine borer damage. I did try and like watch these plants pretty closely, but I just haven't been here as much as I probably could have been. So, you know, it happens, life happens. This is another pumpkin plant. This one's stem doesn't look quite as bad, but I've definitely noticed that there's like some leaves, like when leaves start dying like this one or that one, that's usually a pretty good sign of squash vine borer damage. The way that this leaf is just randomly dying for no reason, what I'll do is I'll come in here and I'll just kind of pull this off. So that way, if the actual squash vine borer is inside that leaf, it will not make it into the rest of the stem. So that one's going nuts, which is great. And then there's this guy. I don't even remember what this guy is. He looks like he's having a rough time. If we look at the base of his stem looks pretty okay. But when leaves start doing stuff like this, I don't love this. This looks a little rough. It might be the need of fertilizer. It may just be that it's not gonna make it. Not really sure. Again, like there's a few, it's kind of like hard to find a place to walk in here. There's like a few of these leaves that are just like randomly dying, and if you see that, that's like a little entrance point for a squash vine borer. So I might grab my shears and just take a couple of these leaves off just to be preventative. And then we also have some melons. So these are melons. I don't remember what kinds of melons these are, and there's definitely some that aren't getting pollinated properly. But yeah, so this is a melon right here, and I think I planted another one in here somewhere. Y'all, I'm not gonna lie, I like very haphazardly planted these like squashes and melons. Like I truthfully like had no plan. That's like one of my favorite like things that my boyfriend says to me, because I do a lot of things without a plan, and if it doesn't work out, he'll look at me and he'll be like, what was the plan here? And then I have to say, there was no plan. There straight up was no plan. So I'm just kind of letting this go though. So like once I start ripping out the peppers, like these squash will continue to like vine out and grow and almost act like a cover crop. I mean, I still have almost 2 months until I put my fall stuff in the ground, and something's gonna grow in this space, right? So it's either gonna be something that I want to grow here or it's going to be weeds. And that's just the way that goes. So that's kind of the gist of the community plot right now. I think today I'm going to just like chop some like rotten leaves that I think may have squash vine borer damage from the squash, and then I'm gonna cut some flowers, maybe pick a few peppers, and then next I will take you over to the home garden. Okay, y'all, I think I need to turn on all of my like mosquito prevention. I have sprayed. They're just real bad this year, so hold please. Y'all, we got a zapper. We've got citronella candles. We have citronella tiki torches. And while I know this all sounds very extreme, and I'm really only gonna be out here for like 20 minutes, the mosquitoes are vicious. And they are like resistant to bug spray and all of this other stuff. If you live in Texas or the South, like the bugs are 10 times worse this year, I swear. Can you hear the cicadas? They're intense. So, it is the middle of the day. We've got all of the tiki torches moving and grooving. And we've got citronella candles lit. We got one more. People have told me, they're like, eat more garlic. Do this, do this. I'm telling you, it does not matter what I do. What I eat, what I spray, they will find me. And in their last dying, like, surge of sucking my blood, they will still bite me. So we have to be very extreme with the mosquito measures. But let's go through the backyard garden. Okay, so just to be the realist with you that I possibly can be, here's a very messy part of the backyard garden. This is actually all gonna get cleaned up this weekend, and I kind of want to turn this into like a seed starting and potting area. TBD on that, we'll see. Very ambitious. We'll see if it all works out. But these spaces exist in every garden, even the perfect ones you see on YouTube. They have ugly spaces. It happens. This is what the herb bed is looking like. The cinnamon basil is falling down. It's ready to come out. The parsley, it's gonna make it through the heat, but it's not really loving it. I don't remember planting these zinnias, but here they are. They are quite beautiful. I would like to get more flowers in here. There is a grasshopper living in here somewhere that is eating a lot of stuff, which is fine, but it's a very large grasshopper. I don't really love it, if I'm being honest. But the lemon balm is doing well. This basil is only doing well because it was under my Mexican torch sunflowers, which I chopped down. That's the only reason that it's doing well, because it is pretty warm out. And so this area I would really like to get cleaned up and looking a lot nicer. That's going to be the theme of what I'm going to say every time we see something. This little sunflower area didn't really go the way I thought it was going to, which is fine. I'm just going to save some of these sunflowers for seed. This was a really beautiful like cream colored sunflower, and so I just want to save as many of these sunflower seeds as I can, and I've been dumping old flowers over here. Now this was going to be my big sunflower wall. We've got some like leftover marigolds in here too. The sunflower wall. I have some theories about what happened, because I seeded those sunflowers about 3 weeks ago and they didn't come up. So it's telling me they either didn't germinate because I planted them too deep, or my other theory, now that I have found a couple of large grasshoppers in the garden, is that they were coming up, and as they were coming up, they were being eaten. So that's unfortunate, because I've definitely seen grasshopper damage within the garden. So I think that might have been what's happening. I'm going to potentially do some insect sprays, like some neem or some diatomaceous earth. I need to do some research on what's gonna work. I'm gonna do one of those and try and get rid of the grasshoppers, just at least in this area, because I do want that sunflower wall, and I'm not gonna be planting this with anything until like October. So it's got a lot of time to have something beautiful in it and not just be a patch of dirt and mulch. These Mexican torch sunflowers are doing well, but I'm probably going to cut them back sooner rather than later. These were a surprise favorite of mine to grow, actually. I really enjoyed growing them. They did really well for the season, but they definitely peter out at some point. And then we've still got this little wild patch that I need to probably get in there and do something with. This random pepper that I bought as like a rescue pepper is like making a pepper. So that's cool. I have no idea what it is, so we will wait. And then this bed has been a little bit of a disaster. It's kind of just, this was my squash bed at the beginning of the season, and I did re-sow some squash actually. I don't know if it's gotten got by the borers yet. Who knows? There's another squash right here that probably got by the borers. And these are all green beans that need to come out. And then these are melons that aren't doing as well as I thought they would. But it may have been because they were getting shaded by the cucumbers. I'm kind of at the point with squash where, like, if the borers take my plants, I just don't think I care. Like, I would rather plant them and like take the chance I actually get something than like constantly be out here every day like looking for vine borer eggs, especially when it's so hot out. So that's kind of where I'm at with the squash. I kind of planted them as like a last minute thing. Definitely next year I'll have a better plan for this bed. I don't know that I had a great plan for it, if I'm being honest, but that's okay. Also, another moment of realness. Here are my dead cucumbers that really need to come down, and have half come down. I kind of just keep coming out here and just taking down a few at a time. What's really stopping me, if I'm being honest, are these little suckers. These are leaf-footed bug nymphs. Nasty, 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 gross, gross, gross. These are my garden nemesis this time of year, those stupid bugs, because the parents like stick around and get territorial. I should probably just get them all with diatomaceous earth right now before they get worse. I hate them so much. They can't hurt you. Like, they're not gonna bite you, they're not gonna sting you, they literally just fly at your face. It's like their boldness is really what scares me. But the cucumber trellis is coming down. I showed in a video last week that this thing, I called it the cucumber cave for about a week because it like dragged the trellis down because it was so heavy. So that's in progress. This is where my pumpkins are. So I have yet to check these for borers. Oh, they do have a couple eggs on them. Now when they're at this stage, I do really want pumpkins, so I'll probably try and keep a really close eye on these. These didn't really get too much sun because of the trellises that are next to them, so they're kind of just now taking off. And then I need to come in here and clean up the marigold edging. And then this is kind of a late cucumber takeoff. Some of these, so when you get like a really weird looking cucumber like this, that's because of incomplete pollination. So that flower didn't quite get fully pollinated, which is why that happens. And we're just kind of still getting cucumbers one at a time. There's one. I should probably pick that one. There's another one. Oh! See? Y'all, if a flying bug flies around my head, it's game over. It is game over. Okay. Oh, that's over. Now the other side of this trellis has my Armenian white cucumbers, which I harvested the first couple that I think were not fully pollinated, because they were just looking like really thick and fat. I think this guy is fully pollinated. Oh, there is a spider web. I think that one's fully pollinated. So I think I'm gonna keep these. They look awful. And we'll go from there. Also, I'm excited for these. These are Montauk Daisies that I bought last year. And I'm really hoping now that they're getting more sun, especially that one, they'll both start blooming. Oh, a grasshopper friend. There's there's one of my grasshoppers that eats all my stuff. Hi, friend. So, my sunflower bed. I really like this little mini sunflower wall. However, didn't give myself a great entrance into what's behind it, which is my okra bed. So this is my okra. And I didn't really use my brain, and I didn't really think about giving myself some space to actually get into this bed. But I'm really enjoying the sunflowers, and the bugs are really enjoying them. So I'm liking that. That's some kind of flying insect. Oh, more little flying insects, pollinators. We love to see it. And so what I've been doing is I've actually been moving one of these grow bags with these sunflowers in it. I've just been moving it out of the way like this to give myself like a little temporary entrance into the okra bed. And the okra's been good. It's getting a slow start. We're getting some okra, but I think it gets to a point when it's just gonna explode and go absolutely nuts. I have a cherry tomato that's trying to hold on, but I just haven't taken down yet. So I'm kind of just letting it be wild, to be honest. And then another very ugly part of the garden, I have yet to take down any of these tomatoes, so they just don't look like garbage. Like there's like a fully dried out tomato on that vine. Like I just haven't had the time to actually get out here and do anything with these. Oh, it looks like there's some like potentially good sized ones that are coming up. Maybe I'll get like a late little crop, who knows? And then my strawberries are exploding. They're doing so well. They're starting to put off some runners, which are these little guys. So I just keep kind of tucking them in and giving them a place to go, because I would love for this whole tower to just be strawberries someday. My Eureka Pink lemon tree, this guy really needs to be repotted. He's just getting very large from when I bought him. So he's probably gonna get repotted. Then the blueberry bushes are dormant. Oh, that is my ugly July garden tour. This is definitely the time of year where you just have to like embrace what you got. Yeah, there's a like super mosquito flying around me, so I'm gonna move this to shine the candle right in front of my face. So this is definitely the time of year where you just kind of have to like embrace whatever's happening. Like I don't want to try and like viciously control nature. I kind of just want to like let nature happen and be a part of it, embrace it. And so that's what we're doing. And honestly, July, we're like on the downhill slide. We have been. And so August is really going to be the month where I focus on amending, mulching, getting things cleared out so that in September and October we can really start super fresh. I started some seeds last night, which was really exciting. They have not come up yet, but they are started. So lots of kales, and I did a whole flat of zinnias that I wanted to pre-start just so they can have a little bit of a head start once they actually get planted. And collard greens and broccoli and Swiss chard. So there's a lot of things to look forward to, but I definitely sense myself getting tired in July. You know, because you started seeds in January and you've been doing this like real hard for 6 months, and like now I'm ready for a break. Just like when I get to February, that's when really a lot of outside gardening stops here in Texas because it gets cold. I just need a break. So yeah, that's kind of where we're at. I'm just embracing it. I'm not going to get mad at myself. This is just where things are at. So I need to go put out all my mosquito control measures. And I also need to get back to work from taking a break to take you on this garden tour. Sometimes you just gotta walk away from my computer, go walk through the garden, and come back. Thanks so much for watching, guys. Leave a like, leave a subscribe, leave a comment. I love the comment section of these videos. They teach me so much. The community here is so great. And yeah, thanks for watching. Happy gardening. We will see you next time.